Claiming Your Space concert feels like a seminal moment. Like, I get emotional thinking about it. I can't get enough of the stories and going through the music and the history and all of that. But I always say I don't want these things to just remain historical curiosities. How can they connect to what we're doing now?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, so like kind of a color change.
Yes.
I'm Christopher
Yes.
Armstrong, third year undergraduate composer here at Juilliard, and I'm the composer of Sylvester's Dying Bed on the upcoming concert on the 27th of February.
Okay, oh, sorry. What? I'm Danae Vinson, and I am a third-year composer at Juilliard, originally from Houston, Texas, and I'm so excited for the Claiming Your Space premiere of my piece, Let the Sun Shine On Me.
What this concert is doing is it's showing, in addition to so many other things, what has come before and what is also yet to come, while also still showcasing what is happening now.
Being Black in classical music it is a very lonely thing because there's not that many of us here, and especially in composition. I mean, like, and at the same time, it's a blessing because you have the responsibility and you have the opportunity to let other Black people know. Let some 5-year-old, in Houston, Texas, let them know that they can be a composer.
The fourth beat there in the bass clef.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not fine. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
There's so much history and so much effort that has gone into this concert that it's just incredible to be a part of. Just walk us through how this whole thing came about in the first place.
Okay, so this is the Claiming Your Space, honoring the artistry and activism of Black Juilliard students exhibit that opened in February 2020. So in February 2020, I was brand new to Juilliard, like just landed on Planet Juilliard. And Jane Gottlieb, the director of libraries, invited me to curate a Black History Month exhibit. They always do a Black History Month exhibit. And so she was like, would you actually like to guest curate it?
When Dr. Hadley became part of our faculty, I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to invite her to curate our exhibit? And she is focusing on what we have in the institutional archives.
I work with Juilliard's archivist, Jenny Damasfera, to go through Juilliard's archive. I mean, Juilliard is well over 100 years old, so there's a lot of history to move through. And we talked about, what I was interested in, the stories I wanted to tell, and I was really focused on telling the stories of students. I didn't want to tell the story of the institution as much as I wanted to tell the story of what students do when they come to the institution. And I was inspired and thinking about both Juilliard is a place that's known for artistry, but exploring whatever threads of activism. So in the course of going through Juilliard's archives, we came across this program from 1934, a concert that was performed by Black Juilliard students and sponsored by the Juilliard Student Club, which wasn't exclusively Black. It was open to all Juilliard students. A concert called The Negro in Music. And so I was actually kind of stunned when we found this. I was like, wait, something like that happened here at Juilliard in 1934? But when we found it and the exhibit opened, I began having conversations with the chair of music history, John Yeager, as well as Brian Ziegler in vocal arts. And like, wouldn't it be cool just to do something like this, to bring this concert back to Juilliard? That would be interesting, right? But of course, the pandemic was happening and all that. But then once we came back in person and realized, wait a minute, 2024 is the 90th anniversary of that. It would be really amazing to stage it around that anniversary and make it like a really robust,
Right.
institution-wide program, so we began working on it, and thankfully the president's office and Brandon Neal in the president's office all thought, no, this is something we absolutely should do, and produce in February 2024, and then release the actual performance on the anniversary of May 10th. With this program, the composers that the students performed in 1934, they were all living composers except for Samuel Coleridge Taylor, who had passed away. And so we thought, in the spirit of playing the music of living Black composers and collaborating with a living Black composer as the person to preside over the concert, Harry T. Burley, we thought it was really important to do that in 2024 and not just have this be a reflective and, oh, let's applaud ourselves, this amazing thing happened, but uses as an opportunity to give voice to living Black composers. And so the idea to commission 2 new works to go on this program became very essential to being faithful to the spirit in which this concert was conceived.
Making this piece has been such a huge and incredible honor and just an incredible opportunity. Before this, I mean, I really was scared of writing for voice and piano. The idea of setting text was just really quite scary to me. But after I started to do it, I really gained an appreciation for it, really fell in love with it.
I grew up in church, and oftentimes like sound worlds are mixed together in church. You know, you like might have someone who plays saxophone or like things that are not necessarily, you know, you wouldn't imagine that to be the case. So I wanted pipe organ to have, you know, this bassy feel. I definitely wanted to utilize, you know, like the idea of something just not necessarily being noticeable sonically, but also like it grounds the piece, it grounds the listener. And, you know, yeah, so the organ was definitely like a big, definitely like a big inspiration. And when I was doing research for my inspiration of this piece, a lot of like, you know, Hammond organ repertoire or, you know, just videos of people playing organ, that was very useful to me.
Hey, forgot. I missed the note about the class, but
You falling in this
just pouring it in.
So this is our deep Juilliard history case.
Right.
And in it, we have portraits of Ann Wiggins Brown and Ruby Elsie, who, from what we know, were the 2 who really galvanized this performance. And of course, both Ann Wiggins Brown and Ruby Elsie would graduate the very next month in June 1934 and go on to be in the premiere of Porgy and Bess in 1935, with Ann Wiggins Brown really helping Gershwin to shape the role of Bess and premiere the role of Bess, and Ruby Elsie as Serena.
Wow.
And Porgy and Bess.
Was Ann Wiggins Brown the first Black graduate here, or was
This-
it prior to her?
This woman, this lovely woman here, was the first Black graduate of Juilliard. Helen Elise Smith graduated from Juilliard. She was a pianist in 1907. Conservatories are actually ahead of most higher ed institutions in this country in admitting Black students. Most universities in the United States wouldn't admit Black students until after the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So 60 plus years later, they started admitting Black students. But conservatories, including NEC, Oberlin, Juilliard, they admit Black students far sooner than that. And that's important because many of them go on to establish the music departments at historically Black colleges and universities. So we see how that ripple effect kind of becomes a net positive for Black community. But the connection with the concert is that Helen Elise Smith is the wife and collaborator of R. Nathaniel Dett, composer R. Nathaniel Dett. And we have on the program his Juba Dance.
Seeing earlier graduates, like as early as 1907, and the school was founded in 1905, knowing that someone that soon was here, like it definitely it makes me happy. It makes me proud, and it definitely eases the loneliness of being, in such a small, space, in such a small world. Yeah, just agree.
Text that we're using, this language abuse film, is just incredible. It has so much to play with and so much to work with in that text. Yeah.
And then did you want me to come off a little bit at theirs?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Without like the
Yeah,
crazy
that's
slide. Yeah.
Bringing this concert back, the way that we're bringing this concert back here at Juilliard, to me, represents everything I stand for as an ethnomusicologist, as a Black academic, and represents the best of what Juilliard is able to do in having these materials in our archive, and also having the talent and the ability to produce and bring this concert back to us at such an astonishingly high level.
That's supposed to be the whole purpose of composition. You're not only writing songs, you're not only writing music, you have a message, you have a purpose within you. And I think that, highlighting Black composers, highlighting, cultural diversity, highlighting that there is so much more than what we perceive things to be. When I first got here, I never would have imagined that something like that happened 90 years ago. So I think that this concert means so much to me because, it's a great opportunity, and it's a great, moment in history, great recreation of history.